You know, when you think about the world of whiskey, your mind probably jumps straight to the misty highlands of Scotland, maybe the rolling hills of Ireland, or even the precise craftsmanship of Japan.
Right, those are the big players.
Exactly. But what about Denmark? Today, we're taking a deep dive into the truly fascinating story of Stauning Whisky. It's a brand that has not just put Denmark on the global whiskey map, but has done so with this, well, almost defiant independence and a very Danish spirit.
It's quite a story.
Yeah, so we've pulled together insights from their own product descriptions and also a really revealing blog post from Whisky.dk, that's Denmark's largest whiskey retailer.
A good source, then.
Definitely. So our mission for you today is to kind of peel back the layers of Stauning's unique origin story, understand their distinct production philosophy, which is rooted really deeply in Danish terroir, explore their incredibly diverse and innovative whiskey portfolio.
Which is pretty wide-ranging.
Oh, it is. And then track their ambitious journey through global partnerships, which ends up with some recent strategic shifts. This isn't just about what's in the bottle, you know, it's about passion, ingenuity, and the challenges of scaling a beloved craft business while staying fiercely true to your roots.
Yeah, that's often the trickiest part.
So prepare for some unexpected turns and a look at how dedication to craft can completely redefine a traditional industry.
Okay, let's get into it.
So let's unpack this, shall we? How does a country primarily known for its pastries, its design, and let's be honest, it's fairy tales, suddenly become a serious player in the highly competitive world of whiskey?
It does seem unlikely on the surface.
It does. The story, like so many great ones, started with a simple question and a group of friends. Picture this. It's May 2005. 9 friends, like a doctor, a chef, a butcher, several engineers are on a weekend trip, probably sharing a laugh and, crucially, a glass of Scottish single malt.
The classic setting.
Right. And then one of them just wonders aloud, why isn't whiskey made in Denmark?
Huh, just like that.
It's just like that. It's such a simple question, right?
Right.
But the more they thought about it, the more they realized, hang on, all the conditions seem perfectly aligned. The climate, the availability of quality malt barley, excellent water.
All the key ingredients are there, theoretically.
Exactly. So that spark of curiosity quickly ignited into something much bigger. A mission. They had to try and create a high-quality Danish single malt whiskey. It sounds almost impossibly ambitious for, like, a hobby project, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's that raw, almost pioneer spirit that's so compelling. You know, it's one thing to have an idea, but another entirely to act on it with such determination.
Yeah.
What's fascinating here is the sheer audacity and passion of these 9 friends, taking a seemingly impossible idea and tackling every single hurdle themselves. From day one, they were committed to doing things their way, even if it meant a lot of hard graft.
And hard graft is definitely an understatement. They started this venture in a disused slaughterhouse. Can you imagine the amount of renovation and sheer elbow grease required just to meet food agency approval?
Oh, I bet. That's not exactly purpose-built.
Not at all. Then there was the bureaucratic maze, contacting authorities like SCAT, the Danish tax authorities, navigating a jungle of regulations for producing alcohol. And the equipment. They needed special-made, handmade copper pot stills.
Which aren't exactly off-the-shelf items.
No. They had to import them all the way from Spain, a 400-liter wash still and a 200-liter spirit still. It wasn't just plug and play.
Exactly. And they faced countless other challenges that any craft startup would recognize. Things like malting barley themselves, which is incredibly labor-intensive, to building a drying kiln, a mash tun, managing the whole delicate process of fermentation.
Right.
But what stands out to me is how they describe often coming up with funny but effective solutions to keep moving forward. It speaks volumes about their ingenuity and resilience. It wasn't about having a huge budget. It was about passion and clever problem solving.
That ingenuity totally paid off.
Yeah.
Because then came the big moment. August 2006. After what must have been an exhausting work week, they gathered one pivotal night between a Friday and Saturday.
You can just feel the anticipation.
Totally. Around 2 a.m., the first drops of spirit began to emerge from those gleaming copper pipes. I can only imagine the sheer tension and then the, well, euphoria of that moment, seeing all their hard work finally bear fruit.
Proof of concept.
Yes. They experienced the taste development firsthand, you know, from the sharp first drops of the heads, the volatile stuff you don't really want.
Right, the 4 shots.
On the balanced heart, that pure spirit they were aiming for. And finally, the flat tails, the less desirable end portion of the run. That close monitoring allowed them to truly fine-tune their distinctive flavor profile right from the very beginning. It truly must have been a fantastic night, proving all their efforts were worth it.
And what's truly remarkable about their journey is how quickly this passion project gained international recognition. It makes you wonder, how did a distillery so new, operating on such a small scale, manage to capture global attention so swiftly?
That's the million-kroner question, isn't it? Because just a few months later, autumn 2006, fate kind of intervened. They had the incredible opportunity to meet Jim Murray.
The Jim Murray, wow.
Yeah, one of the world's leading whiskey experts, a real titan in the industry. He tasted their new spirit, specifically a version they had made with smoked malt barley, and his reaction was extremely positive.
Okay, that's good, but
the game changer, the moment that literally altered their trajectory, his comparison, he said it was like Ardbeg from the 70s.
whoa. Okay, think about that for a second. Ardbeg from the 1970s is legendary, almost mythical among whiskey enthusiasts.
Absolutely.
To receive an unimaginable compliment like that from the Jim Murray, that's validation beyond anything they could have dreamed of. It completely changed their perspective.
Totally.
Murray's feedback prompted them to reevaluate their entire plan. Suddenly, instead of aiming for a modest 200, 400 liters per year from their slaughterhouse setup,
Which was probably already ambitious enough.
right, they set their sights on a far more ambitious 6,000 to 8,000 liters.
That's a huge aha moment, isn't it? From a hobby in a disused slaughterhouse to suddenly thinking about serious production. This ambition led them to buy a farm near Stauning in West Jutland in November 2007.
A proper home for the distillery.
Yeah, but even that was just the beginning of another year and a half of rebuilding, renovating, and navigating even more bureaucracy. It wasn't quick.
No, these things never are.
By March 2009, the new, larger premises were finally ready and approved. They began malting barley there, and by late April 2009, distilling officially began. So, roughly 4 years after that initial, why isn't whiskey made in Denmark, thought.
It's 4 years. Incredible.
They were in full production of a genuine, highly acclaimed Danish single malt whiskey. It's a real lesson for any aspiring entrepreneur, isn't it, how a spark of curiosity can truly ignite something massive if you're willing to put in the work.
Absolutely. That dedication is key.
That dedication to craft is truly compelling. But what truly differentiates a Danish whiskey in a world dominated by established traditions? What specifically makes Stauning's product uniquely Danish and gives it that special character?
That's where their core philosophy comes into play, and it's truly what sets them apart. They've built their identity around 3 key pillars that really infuse the spirit of Denmark into every drop.
Okay.
First, and perhaps most critically, is their unwavering commitment to local sourcing. Stauning is the only active Danish whiskey production that uses Danish barley, and importantly, they malt it themselves.
Right, that's a big deal. Control from the start.
Huge deal. This isn't just about being local, it's about having absolute control over the fundamental raw ingredient, ensuring its quality and character from the very start. And it extends even further. For their smoked whiskeys, they use Danish dugout peat.
Danish peat, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, it is. And it's not just a quirky choice. It provides a distinctly softer, more earthy smoke profile compared to the more iodine-heavy peats found elsewhere, like Islay. It gives their smoked expressions a truly unique signature.
Interesting. So it's not just Danish barley, but also Danish peat, which really dictates the flavor profile. That's a deep commitment to their local terroir. What's the second pillar?
The second pillar is their adherence to traditional methods. Out of respect for the world's best whiskey, they follow historical Scottish production principles. This includes labor-intensive in-house floor malting.
Which you hardly ever see anymore.
Exactly. It's a really rare sight in modern distilleries. It allows them unparalleled control over the barley's germination, crucial for flavor development, even if it requires immense manual effort. And then there's their use of direct-fired copper pot stills.
Okay, explain that a bit.
They use 2 relatively small stills, heated by open flame rather than, say, internal steam coils. This direct heat creates a more intense interaction between the copper and the spirit.
So more copper contact.
Yes, and it leads to a distinctive depth, complexity, a richer, fuller texture, and more intense aromas in the final spirit. It's a much harder, more hands-on way to distill, but the payoff in terms of character is undeniable.
Wow, direct-fired stills. That's very old school. And I can imagine that process, combined with the floor malting, creates a distinct flavor profile. So what's the final piece of their philosophy?
The final overarching pillar is simply an unwavering commitment to quality. Their philosophy is explicit. No shortcuts or compromises on the way to the finished product. They control every single step of the process, literally from the moment they receive the barley from the farmer until it's bottled.
Real field-to-glass control.
Precisely. This vertical integration isn't just about efficiency. It's about embedding their values and vision at every stage. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this unwavering commitment to local ingredients and these traditional, often more labor-intensive methods is precisely what gives Stauning its distinctive terroir, that unique sense of place. It's not just what they make, but how they make it and where it comes from that truly defines its character and sets it apart. It ensures Stauning whiskey is both unique and a whiskey of high quality with character and history. It truly is Danish liquid gold.
And it seems they've applied that philosophy across an incredibly diverse range. Stauning is certainly not a one-trick pony. Their portfolio stretches from classic rye expressions to some truly wild experimental cask finishes. They've really carved out a unique space for themselves in the whiskey world.
Oh, absolutely.
What's truly insightful about Stauning's portfolio isn't just the sheer variety, but how they strategically use distinct series to cater to different palates while constantly pushing traditional boundaries.
Yeah, they've got their core range, which showcases their mastery of traditional profiles, with expressions that have become true staples. For example, their Stauning rye.
Heard good things about that one.
It's known for its wonderfully spicy and full-bodied profile, crafted from that local rye and barley we just discussed. It's a rye whiskey that stands proudly alongside American giants, but with a, uniquely Danish stamp. Then you have Stauning peated, or smoke, which features that distinctively softer, earthier smoke profile from the Danish peat. It's not the medicinal peat many expect. It's more subtle, more integrated.
The different kind of smoke.
Exactly, offering a different kind of smoky pleasure. For instance, Stauning smoke is matured for a minimum of 5-6 years in a combination of first fill bourbon, Madeira, Jamaica rum, and new American oak casks. That mix adds layers of complexity.
Wow, quite the mix of casks.
Rare.
I also find Stauning cows fascinating. It's a triple malt blend, right? Combining smoked malt, unsmoked malt, and rye whiskey. That sounds like a balancing act in a bottle.
It really is. It's described as having a little smoke, a little spice, and a whole lot of delicious complexity.
Right.
It aims for a beautifully balanced dram that offers something for everyone, a true embodiment of their innovative spirit, even within their core range. And then for those who want something perhaps a bit more approachable, they have Stauning Hurst. It's a smooth, fruity, and delicate double malt, matured on new American oak and a touch of quart casks. Designed to be welcoming for both newcomers and seasoned enthusiasts, showing they can cater to a broader market without compromising quality.
So that's their solid foundation, their core range. But then they have their research series. And this is where it gets really interesting because they're essentially using it as their innovation lab, right? Pushing boundaries and experimenting with untraditional aging methods.
Precisely. This series really spotlights their adventurous spirit. Take Stauning Bastard, for instance.
Love the name.
Yeah. It's a rye whiskey aged for 3 years on virgin oak, then for another 6 months in mezcal casks from an 80-year-old Mexican producer.
Mezcal casks. Okay, that's different.
Very different. The tasting notes include citrus, sweet tobacco, mild smoke, wildflowers, spicy notes, and burnt caramel. Truly, Mexico meets Denmark in a glass. And then there's Dirty Bastard, which pushes the boundaries even further with a triple maturation process. First, new American oak, then used mezcal and tequila casks, and finally in stout casks from Danish microbreweries.
Good grief, that's a journey for a whiskey.
It really is. It's a symphony of dark chocolate, dark beer, roasted malt, and spicy chili. Even the bottle design, featuring the Mexican hairless dog Xoloitzcuintl, symbolizes its wild soul. These aren't just whiskeys, they're liquid experiments, showing their commitment to untraditional aging and daring flavor combinations.
And they've also done things like Stauning El Clasico, a rye whiskey matured in vermouth casks, which yields a warm, intense grain flavor with a spicy and bittersweet aftertaste. These sound like you're having a lot of fun experimenting while consistently producing high-quality and unique whiskeys.
They definitely seem to enjoy pushing the envelope.
But how did a relatively small craft distillery, known for these meticulous hands-on methods and audacious experiments, manage such ambitious growth and innovation to become a recognized name globally? That kind of expansion usually requires serious backing.
That's an excellent question, and it brings us to a really pivotal moment in their journey. For any craft brand aiming for global scale, investment and strategic partnership often become essential. In 2015, Stauning joined Distill Ventures,
Okay, what's Distill Ventures?
It's an accelerator and investment platform, and notably, a subsidiary of Diageo.
Diageo, the world's largest spirits company.
The very same. This partnership injected crucial capital, strategic advice, and access to a global network that Stauning really needed to expand.
So it wasn't just money, it was also invaluable expertise and connections.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of impact did that partnership have on their actual growth and their global reach?
Oh, the impact was truly significant. This collaboration allowed Stauning to expand dramatically, most visibly through the construction of a new, architecturally award-winning distillery.
Right, I've seen pictures, it looks amazing.
It does. And this wasn't just a bigger barn. It was a state-of-the-art facility that boosted their production capacity to an impressive 900,000 liters per year, a massive leap from those initial, 200 liters?
Huge leap.
It also gave them invaluable global reach, introducing them to key export markets like the USA, the UK, Japan, and providing international expertise in branding and distribution that would have been incredibly difficult to acquire on their own.
And the interesting part is, despite partnering with a global giant like Diageo, Distill Ventures' approach was apparently designed to allow Stauning to maintain its creative freedom and core terroir-driven philosophy.
Yeah, that was the idea.
So they kept their floor malting, their direct-fired stills, their local raw materials, even as they scaled globally. That's a tricky balance for any craft brand, isn't it? To grow without losing your soul.
It absolutely is, and it's a testament perhaps to the intent of that partnership. However, this situation also highlights a classic example of the challenges faced by successful craft brands when they partner with larger entities.
Meaning?
Well, while the investment certainly propelled Stauning onto the global stage and gave them incredible opportunities, the dynamic nature of the premium spirits market meant that this chapter wouldn't last forever.
And it didn't. Because in 2025, Diageo announced its withdrawal from Distill Ventures as part of a larger strategic restructuring.
Right, a big shift in Diageo strategy.
So what were the immediate consequences of that shift for Stauning?
Well, according to industry sources, this shift has led to a downscaling of export activities, especially in the USA, and also a reduction in staff, primarily within sales and marketing.
Ouch. So pulling back internationally.
It seems so. Stauning is now reportedly focusing more on its core products and the home market in Europe. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it just underscores the dynamic and sometimes volatile nature of the premium spirits market. What looks like a golden ticket for global expansion can swiftly change, forcing even established craft brands to adapt quickly and redefine their strategy.
So while the partnership provided an incredible launchpad, this new era means they truly are standing on their own 2 feet again, albeit at a much larger scale than before.
Exactly. Despite this uncertainty, Stauning retains a very strong market position. They've built a loyal customer base and have a solid reputation for quality and innovation. Their research series continues to impress critics, and classic expressions like rye and peated remain highly sought after by consumers.
So they have a strong foundation.
Definitely. This is truly a new era for them where they have to prove that they can stand on their own 2 feet, relying on that foundational passion, their unparalleled craftsmanship, and their compelling narrative. It's a powerful story of ambition, partnership, and resilience. It shows that even with international backing, a brand's true strength ultimately lies in its deep roots, its loyal community, and its ability to adapt.
So what does all this mean? Stauning Whisky's journey is truly remarkable. From a curious group of 9 friends wondering, why not, on a weekend trip?
Seems like ages ago now.
Right. To creating internationally award-winning whiskeys with a unique Danish terroir, they've navigated the complexities of intense DIY entrepreneurship, global expansion, and now these strategic shifts. They've not just made whiskey, they've effectively established a new, highly respected category in European whiskey, challenging the old guard with their innovation and authenticity.
Yeah, their story is a powerful testament to the influence of passion and local craftsmanship. It proves that quality and innovation can indeed challenge established traditions, even when faced with significant market shifts and unexpected changes in partnerships. It also makes you wonder, what other unexpected corners of the world might be hiding the next big disruptor in a traditional industry.
That's a great point. As Stauning embarks on its next chapter, focusing on its strong foundations and home markets, what do you think is more crucial for a craft brand's long-term success? Those strategic global partnerships that offer massive scaling opportunities, or an unwavering, perhaps even stubborn commitment to its local roots, an original, often slower, vision?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Something to mull over with a dram of something unique, perhaps.